Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon all. Okay, welcome to our sixth session of webinar series, Leaders of Enterprise, brought to you by Faculty of Engineering, University Technology Malaysia, Johor Bahru. So we are initiating the university industry collaboration to have a platform with our industry to share their thoughts, experience and knowledge on their expertise. So we are now live streaming from the Faculty of Engineering Facebook page. My name is Libreti Zadasti, Senior Lecturer from School of Civil Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, and will be your host for today's session. So we are very grateful to have our speaker, Encik Mohd Nazmi bin Mohd Napiah, the Custodian for Pipeline Integrity, the Group of Technical Authority and the Head of Pipeline Engineering of Group Technical Solution, Project Delivery and Technology, PETRONAS. Assalamualaikum Encik Nazmi.
Hi. Dr. Lim. Hi.
Thank you for accepting our invitation. It's our privilege to have you today. So before I hand over the session to you, so let me read through your biography a little bit to introduce you to our viewers, right?
Go ahead, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So Encik Mohd Nazmi graduated from with Bachelor of Science in Petroleum Engineering from University of Wyoming, USA. He has started his career as Executive Pipeline under Transmission Operation Division, now known as Gas Transportation and Regasification Division, PETRONAS Gas Berhad, PGB. So he has since been delivering optimal engineering solutions for key pipeline projects and initiatives, including his appointments as Principal of Pipeline Integrity or Head of Pipeline PGB in October 2008. So subsequently, he has appointed as Custodian of Pipeline Integrity Group Technical Authority GTS in August 2012. So he is instrumental in hands-on and diverse operation and project management in oil and gas industry, in particular offshore and onshore pipelines. His focus on pipeline design and integrity management system, as well as key business performances improvements. On the professional front, he's the Vice Chairman of Malaysia's ISO Standard Technical Committee 67, Pipeline Transportation since 2015, and leader of Study Group 3 of International Gas Union, IGU, Transmission Committee in Triennium 2015 to 2018. Within PETRONAS, he's the chairman of Technology Readiness Level Committee 3, Transport and Material, and recently appointed as advisor of Scale Group 11, Civil Structure and Pipeline. He's been active delivering technical papers worldwide on various topics concerning pipeline integrity, operation and maintenance. That's a short introduction of Encik Nazmi, and I believe the audience are waiting for your sharing now. So without further ado, I hand over this session to you to share your experience and knowledge with us on the topic of quantum leap in pipeline asset management. Over to you, Encik Nazmi.
Thank you, Dr. Lim. Thank you very much. Let me put up my presentation pack first. Dr. Lim, can you see this? Dr. Lim?
Yes, I can see it. Yes.
Good. Okay. So perfect. You can see then all the audience can see, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So again, thank you, Dr. Lim. Let me start with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. And good afternoon to UTM's academicians, colleagues here in PETRONAS, as well as everyone participating in this event. Again, thank you UTM for inviting PETRONAS, myself, to share our thoughts in the oil and gas industry, in particular pipeline assets. and I'll be grateful for Dr. Lee in introducing me just now. Before we go into the main agenda, of which the quantum leap in pipeline asset management, I would like to introduce a bit more on Petroleum Nasional or PETRONAS. So our journey in PETRONAS, we have three distinct eras, if you will. The formative years from 1974 to 1978, the building up company capacity and capability from 1980 up to 2017, and the third one will be as global player, right from 1991 until today. PETRONAS is formed under the PDA or Petroleum Development Act 1974 as custodian of Malaysia's petroleum resources. We are directly under the Yang Amat Berhormat Prime Minister's office. In developing and exploiting the petroleum resources, we work hand in hand with several ministries, as you can see on the slide. In performing our duties in PETRONAS, we are anchored to a statement of purpose. We are anchored to our shared values, and we are also anchored on our cultural belief systems. All of these are our corporate and moral compass that tie together all PETRONAS employees in fulfilling our amanah to the company and the nation. In pursuing business growth, PETRONAS, or we are focusing on these three main strategies. The first one will be maximizing cash generator. What is it all about? It is about sweating the assets to secure or to have a strong and stable cash flows, providing a solid base for profitability and foundation for growth of PETRONAS. The second one is expanding core business. It is about expanding our resource base and growing the integrated business model in PETRONAS to strengthen our oil and gas core. And the third one and the final one will be the stepping out. What is stepping out? It is about building capabilities in new businesses to improve our future readiness, allowing us to capitalize on global industry growth trendings. In PETRONAS, we strongly believe that the employees are the biggest and valuable asset and strength to the company. As you can see in the slide, as at 2019, we had a little bit more than 48,000 ROM bodies, both domestic and international. Out of that, 50% are younger generation, less than 35 years old. And we also have 27% of them are women workforce. The PETRONAS leadership team or PETRONAS executive leadership team or PETRONAS ELT is led by our president and group CEO, Yang Mulia Tengku Taufik, and all the businesses, the upstream, downstream, finance, gas and new energy, legal, HR, corporate strategy, and project delivery and technology are represented by the Executive Vice President, the EVPs, and Senior Vice President, SVPs, respectively. And myself, I'm from the Project Delivery and Technology. Our business are integrated across oil and gas value chain from upstream exploration, development, and production, all the way to downstream transport sector, industries, residential, power, and exports. Not only that, we also have our stakes in various non-oil and gas core companies, namely, as you can see in the slide, the MISC, KLCC Holdings, PETRONAS ICT, and etc. And finally, to provide some statistics on our oil and gas assets in Malaysia, we have 157 producing fields all over Peninsular Malaysia and Sabah and Sarawak waters, 387 platforms and subsea structures, including pipelines, 100 NGV fueling stations, 18 floaters, 10 bunkering facilities, 14 onshore terminals. We have 4 refineries, 8 LPG bottling plants, 13 aviation terminals to supply the fuel to the airplanes, 2 regasification terminals, 17 fuel terminals, and a bit more than 1,000 service stations all over Peninsula and Sabah and Sarawak. And now we go into the topic of the day, i.e. the quantum leap in pipeline asset management. The world crude price, they do not have a specific trending pattern, yet they are affected by a major event and market force. And Petronas revenue also aligned or in tandem with and responded accordingly to the crude oil prices, as well as the efficiency and effectiveness of our business operations. As you can see in the slide, our first half of this year, i.e. as of June 30th, our revenue was 93.6 billion, as we were hit very, very hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. Just to give perspective, in 2019, Malaysia's GDP, gross domestic product, was 1,510.7 billion, and around 16%, i.e. 240.3 billion came from Petronas. If our revenue is affected, the Malaysia's GDP will also affected, because 16% is quite a large chunk in the GDP cake. As all of us can see and can experience, now in Malaysia as well as outside Malaysia. The COVID-19 pandemic has put I call it a major dent to our revenue and profitability, as well as to other oil and gas companies. Recently, last week, PETRONAS has released our first half performance. And as of quarter 2, we are at losses of 21 billion. This is the first time in my 24 years in PETRONAS having read in the news of loss after tax. For the last 23 years, I've heard profit after tax. But this year, the second half of the year, we are having losses. The LAT, or loss after tax, is huge, of 21 billion. Not only us, PETRONAS, similar thing happens to all major oil and gas companies in the world. You name it, the BP, ExxonMobil, Saudi Aramco, you can read in the news. Now the question is, what are we going to do with it, with the situation? How are we respond to it? As related by Yang Mulia Tengku President, we are focusing on cost optimization via prioritizing of our maintenance and turnaround activities, as well as adopting new ways of working. So these two going forward are very, very critical for PETRONAS to survive, at least in the next 24 months. As I mentioned, moving forward, as far as oil and gas assets are concerned, it is very, very crucial and imperative that not only PETRONAS, the whole lot of oil and gas companies focus on optimization and the new ways of working to ensure that we are future-proofed at all times. Now, what is future-proofed? Future-proof, to me, it is a condition and or situation of which when any major negative events happen in the industry, in the world, only very minor or no amendment, disruption, adjustment to major aspect of business operation should take place. The key word here is future-proof, very minor or no amendment, disruption, adjustment to major aspects of business operation. For us, oil and gas company, we can operate at status quo as what we have now, even if the crude oil gas price dips down. At the moment, with this COVID-19, we are badly impacted. You can see from the 21 billion loss after tax. And moving forward, the key word here is future-proofed. How do we plan to future-proof in PETRONAS? This is a snapshot of what we're going to do or our plan for pipeline assets. For PETRONAS pipeline assets, we are quantum leaping in aspects of inspection, monitoring, maintenance and repair by implementing and adopting the Industrial Revolutions 4.0. And we call this initiative as Pipeline of the Future, with the aim of interventionless while sustaining a risk for our pipeline assets. What is Pipeline of the Future? For offshore pipelines, we are putting the POTF, or Pipeline of the Future, focusing on robotics, autonomous inspections and repairs, sensors, advanced material applications, advanced automation, and integrated integrity assurance system, or we call it IPIMS. And for onshore pipeline assets, similarly, we are focusing on the various elements that I mentioned earlier. Our aim by having this POTF, by going into interventionless while sustaining the ALAP risk, is to be able to reduce expenses, costs up to 80%. Excuse me. And we are targeting on CapEx, we are targeting on OpEx, we are also targeting on production deferment. While we want to be profitable, our focus on sustainability in our business operations is also very important for us. Therefore, PETRONAS, as a company, focusing on 4 sustainability lenses, which is aligned with the 7 United Nations SDGs. The 4 lenses are continuing creating long-term value via responsible investment, safeguarding the environment, minimizing impact to environment by moving to lower carbon energy solutions, and innovations, positive social impact by creating alliances with communities and adding value to well-being of all stakeholders. And lastly, responsible governance via upholding strong governance mechanisms and ethical business practices. To add on, PETRONAS has established Corporate Sustainability Council in 2010, and the council evolved into PETRONAS Sustainable Development and HSSE Council in 2019. To do what? To steer the development and implementation of sustainable development, SD, and HSSE related strategies. Having said that, we do realize that the execution and implementation of the POTF initiatives has its challenges. Our view, those challenges are our internal readiness, i.e. capabilities and skill, to handle or to take up the IR 4.0 matters, and the readiness of key ecosystem of stakeholders in Malaysia for long-term sustainability, i.e. The vendors, the contractors, service providers, academics, universities, regulatory regime, and etc. Mainly for the IR 4.0. Definitely moving forward, we are planning to engage all the stakeholders to address these challenges. Have conversation from the audience. Thank you very much. Back to you, Dr. Lip.
Okay, thank you, Encik Nazmi, for the. I think this is the short and easy to understand, informative sharing session. So I think we will look into the questions. If there are any question, yeah, we have one question from Shazwan Shah. He's asking, what is the status quo hold, as mentioned just now, by the PETRONAS? Cik Nazmi?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes. Now we can hear you.
Okay. What I meant with the status quo is, for instance, in the near future, if any negative situation, negative event happen in the industry that can impact oil and gas, our status quo will be, again, very minor disruption or no disruption to the status quo business aspects. We do not need to, for example, to reduce a big chunk of capex. We do not need to reduce a big chunk of capex. That is my, my take on the status quo. So whatever happened in the industry, we just can proceed our business operations with minimal, very, very minor, perhaps tak ada langsung or no adjustment to the business operation.
And how about your PETRONAS collaboration with the universities? Is there any impact with due to the pandemic?
I would say no. Why I say no? Because at the moment we are also working with universities in our technology projects.
Yep.
Here in Malaysia, because we see that technologies is the key enablers in PETRONAS in moving forward into the future.
Yep, I agree with that, because I think university and industry should get along so that we both get benefit from each other. So I think we have another question with the same viewers. He's asking, what is the importance and relevancy holding the status quo? Again.
Yeah, the importance is we can maintain our profitability, our revenue and profitability. The revenue, the profitability will not be impacted and affected by the major negative events.
So okay, we have another question from Nadia Mazlan. Okay, She's asking, what is the future of the pipeline assessment in terms of technology?
Good question. When for pipelines, when we have anomalies, defects,
Yeah.
we do assess the condition of the pipeline.
Of course.
I see future pipeline assessment will be taken into account of the analytics.
Okay.
So the analytics, when I say analytics, I'm talking about machine learning.
Yep.
I'm talking about deep learning. I'm talking about artificial intelligence
Yep.
in the future pipeline integrity assessment, inshallah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
in PETRONAS, under the POTF, Pipeline of the Future, we have several initiatives on that matter.
Yeah, I think we also in research field. We are now going forward to all less human interventions research, so that we are more towards machine learning. All what you call, we can supervise it, less supervision, but with higher accuracy of the research itself. Okay.
So
Now
that is good to hear.
So now I think we have done with the question, I believe. So before we end this session, Cik Nazmi, will you have any last speech for the future researcher or future engineer, or someone who would like to be like you for in the future? So do you want to say something?
Saya rasa, based on my experiences in PETRONAS, number one, for us Muslims, we have our target, right?
Okay.
I talked about amanah. So we have amanah to the company, we have amanah to the nation, amanah to the Almighty God. We need to really take care of it, number one. Number two, we need to be committed and rajin lah, ringan tulang, committed and rajin ringan tulang. And number three, moving forward into the future, 5-10 years, we need to marry our engineering, if engineers marry engineering skills and analytic skill. Because in PETRONAS, even now as I speak, our engineers learning analytics. Okay.
So
I think that would be my advice lah.
Okay. Thank you. It is I think this is the what you call it, the thoughtful end speech. So I think that's all for our session for today. I hope the viewers are satisfied with the discussion and sharing for this today's discussion. And I hope we can collaborate together again next time if we have the opportunity, inshallah. Okay. And
Inshallah.
so I really thank all the viewers for spending your time with us in this live session. So please do not worry, because this session can be replayed anytime you like, because it is recorded. And please like our Facebook page because we have lots and lots of sharing session with our leaders throughout our Malaysia in the from the industry to share with us in the near future. So I think thanks to you, Encik Nazmi, for
Our
having
pleasure.
us,
Our pleasure,
for
Petronas.
all your teams and all the viewers from our Facebook pages. I think this is the end. Thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you very much, Dr. Lip. Thank you very much, UTM.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.